Ayan, magandang umaga, tanghali, gabi sa lahat ng iba't ibang time zone sa buong mundo. Nandito pa rin kayo ngayon, nanonood ng Magkape Tayo.
Naku, parang na-miss ko si Prof. L.
Na-miss din kita.
Yes, kasi lagi kami magkahiwalay sa ating mga conference ngayon kasi masyado po kaming busy. So si Prof. L ay nandito sa Manila, ako ay nasa Laguna.
Laguna.
So,
Sa'yo ang Laguna, akin ang Manila.
Yeah, parang makakandidato tayo yan. Okay, and now, meron tayong special guest.
Oo.
And nagulat ako dahil si Prof. L ang may kakilala sa kanya, but he is living and staying in San Pablo City.
Oo, pero
Surprise!
Yeah, it's a surprise.
And before we introduce our guest, katatapos na ng Earth Hour,
Yes.
no? Yung Earth Month natin. Siguro dapat after doing Earth Hour, gawin natin to every day. And to give us tips in how to be environmentalist in our own ways, little ways, maliliit na bagay.
Yes.
Talagang in-import natin ang ating guest ngayon dahil he's a known environmentalist. He's known the Green Man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why he's wearing green.
Ganun ba yun?
Yes.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Because ang advocacy niya is maging green tayo.
Yes.
Parang maganda mapakinggan.
Yes,
maging green tayo.
Green tayong lahat. I mean, yung ating kapaligiran
Yes.
ay maging green.
Maging
kasi-
environment.
Yes.
Environmental. None other than the Green Man himself, Mr. Matthias Gelber. Magandang araw.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening.
Hi,
Wherever you are, nice to meet you,
Nice to
Sheila.
meet you, Mr.
Prof. L.
Matthias.
Yes, hello.
Good to see you.
I was so surprised that you are also living in San Pablo City,
Yes.
and Prof. L is the one who introduced you to me.
Yes. Surprise, surprise.
Yes.
We could have taken a joint ride.
Yes.
Actually, I took the bus, so that was the
Okay.
eco-friendly way,
Yeah.
low carbon footprint way. And actually, I'm surprised. You know, the buses go every 5 minutes. You just stand there on the side of the road, walang problema, and 2 hours if you're lucky. You're in Metro Manila. Today it took a lot longer because it was peak hours. It took nearly 4 hours, but hey, walang problema. I'm here.
Okay,
Wala problema.
yeah.
The Green Man himself, he's a German. Yan. Siguro mas dapat kilalanin mo si Sir
Yeah,
Matthias.
so Mr. Matthias, when did you started to do this advocacy to be an environmentalist or to love the environment?
Already when my late father asked me as a youngster, what do you want to do in your life? I told him, Dad, I want to save the planet. He said to me, that's not a proper job. You can't make money from hugging trees. But I knew that was my mission in life. My playground was not the iPad or the television set or the mall. My playground was the forest. And hence it was a natural progression for me. At that time in Germany we had the problem of acid rain and we wanted to stop it. Industry said we cannot, it's going to be too expensive. But because so many people were voting the Green Party, suddenly all politicians in Germany had to become green and they had to set legislation to stop the pollution. And in Germany, that might be slightly different than what we sometimes see here in the Philippines, enforcement is very strict.
That's right.
So there's legislation, you comply with it, otherwise you're in trouble. And that is how we avoided the acid rain that was destroying our pine trees. And then I just decided, okay, I want to do this as a job. And I had to find my journey, how to make it a living from it as well. But I started as a teenager. Yeah.
So ang German talaga is noon, na-advance na sila talaga na de-develop yung pagiging environmental nila. So medyo layback ang Philippines, no? So why did you choose Philippines to bring your advocacy?
My partner is a Filipina and we live in San Pablo City. We have a lovely baby daughter. My mission is to save Mother Earth for my baby daughter.
What was her name? What is his name?
Princess Athena,
Princess
Yeah.
Athena.
future Miss Earth.
Good, nice.
And so we live here, so there's no better place for me than to contribute here. Actually, the Philippines has got a lot of environmental NGOs. It's got some very genuine, committed environmentalists and eco-leaders. but it hasn't really spread to the masses. You know, I go to very often San Pablo City, Expresso de Caldi. I work there, I have my coffee there. I always check, is anyone here using the metal straw or the bamboo straw? Since I'm there, I haven't seen a single person.
They're all using plastics.
They're all using plastic.
I am also guilty.
You're guilty. That's okay. You can change.
Yes.
Today is the day.
So why is it important for us to use these environmental friendly gadgets and materials? Why is it important that everybody follows that?
Yeah, because it's something like waste problem, climate change problem that we can only solve together. We need politicians and governments from top down to set legislation, but we need as well bottom-up development, change of behavior. If people don't change their behavior and demand for it, then the politicians are not going to be too serious about it, because politicians are going to push what they think the voters want them to push. Hence, if it's not an issue to ask the masses, the common people, if we don't practice it, if we don't ask for it, then it will not be supported by the enforcement of new legislation or the setup of new infrastructure. We can only solve this problem as one humanity. We might be different countries, different races, we look different on the outside, but when we cut, the color of our blood is all the same. We need to solve the global climate change problem as a humanity, and it starts with me, and it starts with you, with us. So bottom up and top down needs to work together, otherwise we will sink in plastic. You know, 2050 there will be more plastic in the oceans than fishes, and the Philippines is a major contributor of plastic in the ocean. We have all the sachets, we have all the small packaging. We need to solve that by changing people's mindset and behavior. We need to find ways how people can earn a living from healing the planet rather than from destroying the planet. So it's a joint effort that we need to work on.
And I see that Mr. Matthias also wrote a book, right?
Yes.
So can you give us a summary about this book? What it is all about?
The Green Man's Guide.
The Green Man's Guide to Green Living and Working. So what is all about?
My friend told me, if you want to reach more people, you need to write a book.
Okay,
I'm a little bit like a man on a mission, right? I want people to change their behavior. So I thought, what should I write about that is something that people can implement straight away? And I concluded we need to focus on things that we have control over and influence on. My life at home, I control. My house, my family, I have influence on. The community, my influence gets smaller, but I can still change something. And then in the office, in my workplace, or if I run a business, where are the areas where I can be the change? So these are the 7 chapters: your life, your home, your family, your community, your office, your place of work as an employee, and your place of work as a manager or owner. Where can you be the change? So at home, it's as simple as, you know, can you reduce your electricity bill by using more of the fan instead of the aircon? Can you use passive cooling? My friend in Clark, he basically had a house that was so hot he couldn't feel comfortable without aircon. So he put the side that was facing the afternoon sun, that was heating up the concrete, that was then releasing the heat at night and making his bedroom so hot. He put a steel frame around it, planted those creeper plants. Suddenly his wall was shaded, the temperature dropped by 2%. Can you do things like that to actually create an environment where you, or what we do at home in the family, we do the eco bricks. You know, where you use the plastic packaging, put them in the bricks. My baby daughter already very excited. She, you know, stuffs the eco bricks. Or when she sees a piece of plastic, she doesn't speak that much yet because she's only 20 months old. But she says, eco brick, daddy, eco brick. So it's already in her mindset. But we need to avoid the waste in the first place. The eco brick is not the solution for the plastic. But
I was just aware, how you segregate your at home? Because you said we need to start at home. So I'm just aware how you segregate your waste at home.
Basically, we have the recyclables, which is the plastic bottles, any glass, the aluminium, if we have any cans. That all goes into one big
container
bag. And you know, I don't bring it to the recycling station. I keep an eye on the guys who are maybe with their bicycle or even on foot, trying to find recyclable stuff walking along the road. When I see them, I wave at them, I say, hey, wait. I go down, I give them a bag. They smile. One guy, last time I gave it to him, he really looked a little bit like maybe he could be homeless because he was really... And you know, when I gave him this big bag, maybe he needs to work 2 days to collect all of that material. He was a bit shy because I think, you know, I'm a foreigner, and he was surprised, what does this guy want from me? But I saw when I went back, he was still looking back and he had a smile on his face. So we can deliver social benefit and environmental benefit if we, at least in a small way like that, give something to people who make a livelihood from that. So that's what I'm trying to teach the kids as well. Hey, we can do good double for the planet and for people. So we use the plastic packaging for eco bricks. Our organic food waste and stuff, we use a lot of it for our, we don't have a garden, but we have a big balcony. We have a lot of plants there. My wife is really good with plants. And we use a lot of that stuff for organic fertilizer, put it in there, mix it in. And so we do our part at home, and then we try and inspire other people to practice similar things. But nobody is perfect. We are not perfect. One thing as well that I mentioned in the book that you can make a change, which a lot of Filipinos I think will find challenging, is try and shift away from the meat. You know, Philippines is a meat-eating country.
Yes.
And I think one of the reasons why we have lower life expectancy in the Philippines compared to the rest of ASEAN is the processed meat-based food, and as well the air pollution that we are facing.
Guilty.
And so I'm as well advocating, you know, try and shift. I'm not a complete vegan, but we decided as a family we don't want to eat meat anymore. So we have gotten rid of the meat since last year. Even that can be a practical thing.
Even small portions of meat?
Meat has a very high environmental impact, especially the beef and the lamb, the red meat. Is responsible for huge water consumption, huge carbon footprint. The more we shift to plants, the less is the environmental impact, and we can feed a lot more people. If we look at the 7 billion humans on the planet, we still have a lot of people that live in poverty and people that don't have enough food. The more vegetarian diet we have, the more we can feed the people. You know, you can feed, if somebody has a very beef, red meat focused diet, if they would shift to a vegetarian, you could feed 15 times more people with that type of diet, because the cow needs so much green stuff, so much water, and produces so much methane as well. This is why for feeding the world and for climate change, the more we can shift away from that, the better.
And I think your book, this material you use in this are all recycling.
All eco-friendly, 100% Forestry Stewardship Council certified recycled paper. No tree was cut. I use vegetable inks made from mushroom to actually print the book with my eco-friendly printer.
What do you call the ink?
Mushroom ink.
Mushroom ink in printing.
Yeah, you can see here there is a label on the front. It says eco ink and eco printing. We actually used as well a climate neutral printing machine for the colored pages. So I tried to make it the greenest book on the planet. I even bought more carbon credits to make each book a healing impact on the planet. Normally it's better to use the PDF, the electronic reading, but you need electricity. In this case, you don't need electricity unless you do it at night, but because the book is a healing impact on the planet, you don't need to feel guilty while reading it.
Yes.
Save the planet while reading it.
And it's better to read this on daylight.
Sure. Yes. Definitely.
Okay.
Sheila, you're already an environmental guru.
Alam niyo si Sir Matthias ay talagang parang lahat ng ginagawa niya whole day is environment. environmental. So lahat na ginagamit niya, puro environmental. So let's start with this.
This is basically a solar lantern. I wanted to show to people, and we used this during the christening of my baby daughter in San Pablo
In an event.
Cathedral there. We didn't use the candles and burn them, we used this. You just blow it up like this, put it out there in the sun during the day, and then at night you have the light. We sometimes use it in our bedroom. You can even have the solar disco party. No, this is the emergency light.
Nice.
But this one, buying retail, will cost you 10 plus US dollars. If you bring it in 1,000 pieces from China, it might cost you 5 US dollars. This is a great eco gadget. This one, Grandma started doing it after we went green during the christening of my baby daughter. We make zero waste catering.
Okay.
Our caterer was not allowed to use any plastic.
Wow.
And we turned some of our
Is-
packaging material into
Is
product.
this your giveaway?
The giveaway was a bamboo straw for
Ah.
everybody for the buko juice, and we planted 30 fruit trees that make the event climate neutral. And this is what Grandma started to do. This you normally throw away, a Tetra Pak. Here, cut it open, clean it, and it's the sexiest pencil case you can find in the whole of Metro Manila or San Pablo City.
And
That's
it's
right.
We can reduce the waste materials
Yes.
in our home.
This is upcycling. You turn something that has no value into a higher value item by making it green. These are soda taps, have been turned into a nice bag
What is this?
for soda taps
Yung
here from the...
Clip dun sa
Yes,
cans.
yes, yes.
So
the
yung
cans.
what do you call that? Yung sa can. Ang tawag
Oh,
sa
yung
yung mga
pambukas.
soft drinks
Yeah.
na yung mga soft drinks natin na may, ang tawag
So
Yes.
this,
pambukas.
this is so
Yes.
strong
Diba?
because of this aluminum
Yes,
material.
yes,
Okay.
it's amazing.
Galing. So who created this? Whose idea to create this one?
This is actually a Filipina that lives in Malaysia. Her company is called Manoy Handicraft, and they are now the franchisee of Miss Earth Malaysia. So they do a lot of upcycling material. The Miss Earth Malaysia last year had an amazing, like they have the national costume competition. It was all made from upcycled material. Beautiful, incredible, amazing. I'm the judge most of the time at Miss Earth, so I always ask the environmental intelligence questions, and I always love when they use upcycled
Yeah, it's
materials.
nice.
Later we're gonna ask beauty contest questions with you. Okay.
Hopefully I'll be alright.
Let's discuss
Okay, what
this.
is this one?
This one is an amazing tool invented by a Filipino. This is basically the tool I bought after my baby daughter was born to make sure that I understand what is the pollution that we have in our home in San Pablo City. I wanted to know how much carbon dioxide do we have in the house, how much PM 2.5. PM 2.5 is the pollution index. 2 months ago in Bangkok, they closed down all the schools because the PM 2.5, the haze, was very high. These are the small particles that go into your body and the body cannot filter it. It goes into your lung. The World Health Organizations, I can't remember the exact statistics, but every year millions of people die prematurely because of being exposed to that. And you know the sad news is we have that as well in San Pablo City, we have that in Metro Manila, and I have identified two major sources. One is the vehicles on the road, you see the jeepneys, you see the buses, you see the lorries.
And I will bring you in one place in San Pablo City where you can smell a very, obnoxious odor in our place. I will
Wow.
bring you there.
Okay, we will test this there. We will
Yeah,
test this there.
yeah. I think this is ito na po yung solusyon dun sa mga, mga
Yeah.
problema in our city. They have a problem in the environment.
Yes,
Maybe
yes.
Who's the inventor of this one?
Dustin Ong Hang Sen. He is a Filipino-Chinese, and the name of the company is Yuhu. Actually, he based the company in Singapore, but he's a Filipino. But the funny thing is, even though it's a Filipino-Asian invention, most of their customers are in Europe. It seems like people here are not yet so willing to pay for it.
Yes, it's-
But I'm telling people, you need to know whether you're killing yourself or not, and businesses should know whether their human resources are affected by bad air quality. Just imagine the cost to your company if your people are off sick and not working, it's gigantic. And I gave a talk at an HR conference last year. I asked, there were some of the biggest Filipino companies there. I asked by a show of hands, how many of you know what is the air quality in your office? None of them knew. So we need to make this data visible. In the past, it was very expensive to get the air quality monitoring done. This is Internet of Things. It's becoming very affordable.
And it's instant. When
Real time. We have it here on my phone now. And actually, it was flagging up that we should watch out for fresh air.
So there is an
because
app
there's an
connected.
app that is connected with this one. And I can show you the actual data now here that we have. We have basically temperature 25.8, quite high, but I think that's good because we're not wasting electricity, even though it maybe feels a little bit hot occasionally. But then we have 1,264 ppm CO2. Outside, the natural air, if it's clean, it will be 400. But here we have 1,264. We as humans breathe in the oxygen, breathe out the carbon dioxide, so it goes up unless we have fresh air coming in.
The normal CO2 should be what?
It should be between 500 to 600 in a building where you have good fresh air supply. But here we have a lack of fresh air coming in, so it's slightly elevated.
Because it's all closed, right?
Enclosed, exactly.
So
and the air
most probably, most of the air-conditioned room had this kind of high carbon.
It's carbon.
Yes. There are some offices. I was in a BPO office last week doing a talk. All the windows were sealed. Very high level of CO2. I have heard of BPOs that have people getting, unconscious because of the bad air quality in there, maybe combination with overworking. The only way how you can bring it down is by bringing fresh air. The ADB, Asian Development Bank, Mandaluyong, they have the big building there. I was their consultant before. They have CO2 monitoring devices
like
in their big meeting rooms. This has got 9 different devices in there because it monitors 9 different parameters. They have one device for CO2. If it goes above 1,000, roughly, they have the air supply, fresh air supply coming in from outside. Their ventilation system is connected with the devices. This is the Internet of Things, modern building management.
What happened when there's a high carbon dioxide in our room?
We feel more sleepy, we might feel dizzy, maybe it supports headaches, you get easier headache, you're not so dynamic, so fresh. If you do a training course, for example, with a big audience, I can sometimes see that people feel more sleepy in a place with high CO2. Your CO2 replaces the oxygen. The more CO2 you have, the less it lowers down the oxygen. Because that is what we humans do. We breathe in the oxygen, breathe out the CO2.
I really need to bring this nearby my home because we have an environmental problem there. We need to have a solution. It's really a big problem since 2005. We already, it's a complaint already that the obnoxious odor in our place. So I think it's the best idea.
To wrap up what we talked about here, I had a good time having known these gadgets na everyday pwede po natin gamitin. We can be an environmentalist in our own way, little ways. Sana simulan na natin bawat isa.
Yes, and I think napakalaking tulong. He's a big help sa Pilipinas. You're a big help in the Philippines, in our community, to have a lecture to everybody. To give an advice to everybody regarding our environment, how to love our environment.
Yes, alam mo ba, I can feel na you have a lot more to tell, but I think there will be a part 2 of this if you're still willing. And give us updates on how to be environmental friendly people.
Give advice to our audience, our viewers regarding our environment.
Definitely stop open burning. That's as well an important thing, because that is what I can monitor in San Pablo City in our neighborhood. But we'll talk more about that next time.
Okay, yes.
All right.
And I think you want to greet somebody, your friend and my friend also.
Yes, that's right. Monsieur Jerry Biton, thank you for inspiring us with your Laudato Si message. And it was so great. The christening of my baby daughter, he gave a special Laudato Si message. We used this instead of the candles. So greetings to you. May you live long and continue your powerful inspiration for other people to adopt Laudato Si principles.
Yeah, so Professor L, Monsignor Jerry Bitoon is a well-known a priest, Monsignor na very concerned din sa environment sa Laguna. He's the one who organized the biggest human chain in San Pablo City. That was, I think, 20 years ago. Yeah. So anyway, thank you very much, Mr. Matthias Gelber.
Thank you so
Thanks
much.
Sheila, thanks Prof. L.
Ayan. At syempre, abangan nyo pa ang mga susunod na episodes ng
Magkape Tayo!